What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sports Talk with Hawk. It is a beautiful day to talk about football. We got some news to go over, some drama that continues around the league, but that's what we love. Let's jump right into it. Here we go. All right, here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back in. Hopefully your weekend was fantastic. Hopefully you guys saw the shorts. I took the family to the Brickyard, at least all of them except one, as he was the oldest was out on an out west trip. Kids had a blast. The baby, everybody loved watching her because while they were playing all the music, pre-race, she was dancing on the mounds, had an absolutely fantastic time. Hopefully your weekend was just as well. I do know that the other video is going to be probably releasing on Monday or Tuesday, so you'll be watching this on Wednesday. And we've got some news that happened over the weekend. So let's jump into the news first before we do the training camp preview. Shamar Stewart is signed. Hallelujah. The Cincinnati Bengals finally got their first-round pick signed, which is huge because the other defensive end that's also a dominating force is still not signed. And I don't know what is going to end up happening with it. I really don't. I don't know if they're at a complete impasse. I don't know if Hendrickson isn't going to move at all. He wants guaranteed years in his contract. I would give him 2. He wants 3. The Bengals want to do 1. I would give him 2 years guaranteed. I really would. His production has earned it. Has 100% earned it. I'd give him a 3-year deal with 2 years guaranteed, and let's rock and roll and see what happens. It's really that simple. I don't know if that's been discussed, but doggone it, the Bengals need to figure something out because I don't think Hendrickson's playing around. And his draft capital value will continue to drop the longer this goes on. Now, if he goes to another team, obviously they're going to be willing to give him what he wants. They'll sign him long term, and he'll be happy, so great for him. Terry McLaurin, I still have no clue what he's doing in Washington. Not going to lie. I have no clue. None. This makes no sense. He's trying to get money. He's trying to get guaranteed. That's the only part of it that I kind of understand. But, I mean, come on, dude. I'm really getting tired of all these guys wanting contracts early. Like, just, you're under contract. Play. I know. I'm a simpleton. I know. You're under contract. Play. Do your job. You know, this is how it works. Okay? The value for the other receivers that are younger than you went up. You're old. And it's the hardest one. He's 30. That contract is hard. Trey Hendrickson, big defensive end, strong, sturdy, a lot like Calais Campbell was. He can last in this league. McLaurin, skinny. Already has a couple of injuries. I can't blame Washington. I'm not going to give him a ginormous contract. He's been dealing with some injuries. I've already got Debo, which I kind of made a mistake with, but we're going all in. They want to go all in on this year. Let everything kind of settle out. I understand Washington's view. I don't understand McLaurin's. But nonetheless. And then the outstanding drama that is the Dallas Cowboys. It just gets better and better. I swear, Micah Parsons is probably going to end up with $45 million a year, and it's going to be ridiculous. He's going to be one of the most overpaid defensive ends that doesn't show up in big games. It's going to be outstanding. It'll be another player that Jerry Jones signs that will do nothing to get the team anywhere closer to even a conference championship game. All right, with all that being said, let's jump into this here. Who do we got first? The Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, this one is going to be interesting, and I have to admit, I don't know what to do with this team. I have no clue. Their GM is a little quirky and weird, and definitely a little bit arrogant. He already traded away next year's first pick, hoping and banking on the fact that he's going to have like a 25th or later pick this year. And I don't really like how it all worked out. The Browns fleeced this new GM on that trade, but they got Travis Hunter. Now, Travis Hunter has been playing both sides of the ball in camp. How that translates to the NFL season, I don't know. It'll be interesting to watch. It'll be a storyline about the Jacksonville Jaguars. What's the other storyline? Can they win? Is Trevor Lawrence going to be protected enough not to be brutally injured? Is the running back room going to shape itself out after drafting 2 rookie running backs this year? What do they have in receivers? You notice I put weakest position, wide receiver. Why? After Brian Thomas Jr., you have Travis Hunter, which small. We don't know what type of receiver he's going to be. I already told you when we were doing the scouting, he doesn't run a route tree. He doesn't seem to be paying attention a lot at OTAs, rookie minicamp. Like, lots of questions about can you actually take this seriously? He'll probably take it seriously when a safety comes up and knocks his lights out, because he's not in college anymore. He's not the fastest. He's not the most nimble. He's going to get walloped. And Brian Thomas will be the receiver that actually can catch the football. De'Ami Brown, I like the pickup. It's not a splashy pickup. I like the pickup. But there's a lot of question marks in receiver. It's the same thing. I easily could have put running back here. I was sitting here going back and forth. But I'm like, well, they drafted 2 rookie running backs. They got 4 running backs who could start for this team. The receivers, not so much. If Brian Thomas goes down, the receivers are done. Travis Hunter, I don't know what's going to happen. But the defense is going to be just fine. I love the defense. I love the moves they made in the secondary. The defense will be just fine. In fact, the strongest position is 1,000% the defensive line. Josh Hines, Devon Hamilton, Armstead, Walker, Emmanuel Ogbah. They got Jordan Jefferson, Mason Smith, Dwayne Smoot. Even Yasir Abdullah, who I think is actually going to be a third down rusher. I think he's a good tweener when it comes to long distance downs for the pass rush. The defensive line is solid. Very, very solid. The offensive line is definitely decent. Walker Little, Ezra Cleveland, I love that pickup. Hainsey, Patrick McCarry from Baltimore, and Anton Harrison. The question is the coach, the wide receivers, the running back, the quarterback. The question is the offense. And that is what Liam Cohen was brought in to fix. What does success look like for the Jaguars? Well, considering the fact that you gave up all that capital to get Travis Hunter, you better make the playoffs, or it was really not worth it. You better make the playoffs. What's a failure? Another 4-win season. Now let's look at the schedule. The first 6 weeks. Here we go. Versus Carolina, winnable. At Cincinnati, Texans, 49ers, Chiefs, and Seahawks. Not great. Not great. Their bye week is also week 8. Week 7, they have the Rams. So the first 7 games have Cincinnati, Houston, Kansas City, Seattle, the Rams, and the 49ers. 6 of your first 7 games I could see you losing. You could start out 1-6 very easily. You really need to split those. Really need to split those first games. Now you come back from a bye week, you got the Raiders, the Texans, the Chargers, the Cardinals. Then you got the Titans, Colts, Jets, Broncos, Colts, Titans. Honestly, I don't know how this team doesn't win only 5 games. I don't know what to expect. Liam Cohen, I liked what he did last year with the Bucks. He's brought in to do the offense. I think the defense is going to be okay. But I have so many questions about the offense. I don't see an easy path for them to win 9 or 10 games. I don't see an easy path. They're going to have to sneak wins against San Francisco and Seattle. They'll probably have to split or sweep the Colts and the Titans. I just don't know what to make of the Jacksonville Jaguars. It is one of the hardest teams I have to be able to pick and bet on. I don't have it already yet. I just don't know what to do with them. We're just going to have to find out. That's really where I'm at with this team. I really just don't know. I love their defensive personnel. They have a much better defensive coordinator. Their offensive coordinator / head coach, I like a lot better than Doug Peterson. But there's just so many questions. Do they have the tools to be able to win 10 games? Absolutely. Do they have the injury tools to also only win 5 games? Absolutely. It's one of the hardest teams for me to predict this year is the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, one of the teams that is not as hard for me to predict, the Tennessee Titans. And you may be wondering why. Simple. Cam Ward is not Will Levis. Will Levis is officially injured. He's out, as if there was a question of who was going to be quarterback number 1. There really wasn't, but the reality is with the way that this starts out, it's not as much a new coach, it's a rookie quarterback. So the first 6 games for this rookie quarterback are as follows. At Denver to open, and then the Rams. That's probably back-to-back losses. But then you get the Indianapolis Colts at home. The Texans and Cardinals, and then week 6 is Las Vegas. And when you look at everything all together, let's say they split with the Colts and the Jags. I'll give them victories over, definitely give them a victory over Cleveland, and definitely give them a victory over the Saints. So right there is 4 wins. The strongest part of this team is now the offensive line. Skoronski, Latham, Cushberry, Dan Moore, and then I believe, they're the ones that got Zeitler, right? Yeah, they got Zeitler from the Lions. I love this team. You could say the weakest position was receiver, because you got Calvin Ridley, Lockett, Van Jefferson, but I like the rookies that they brought in, and I'm excited more about the potential. Like I said in one of the other videos, Tyler Lockett, the veteran, I believe helps. I think that was a very smart signing by the Tennessee Titans. The place that I think they will struggle is going to be potentially a linebacker. Draymond Jones, Cody Barton, Otis Reese, and Arden Key. There actually isn't a lot of production in those linebackers. They need more production from that area of the field on defense. Secondary is fine. Snead, Hooker, Woods, McCreary. Your secondary will be fine. Your linebackers have to hold the fort down, though, in the middle of the field. Stop the crossing routes. Stop the itsy-bitsy little, runs. Don't let these gains go all the way into the secondary. So what does success look for the Titans? Rookie quarterback, Brian Callahan, once again the head coach. I believe they continue building, but I think a 7-win season, going 7-10 with the schedule that they have, because it's not the number 29. That number is inflated because of New England, Cleveland, and New England's not going to be that bad. Las Vegas, they play Las Vegas, and they're not going to be that bad. So it is a little bit inflated. It's really not going to be the 29th easiest. It's just not going to be that easy of a schedule. Jacksonville, we don't know about. So if they split Jacksonville, they split Indianapolis, and then they can sneak away. They get the New Orleans and Cleveland. If they can sneak away 3 other games, steal 3 other games, I would not be surprised. I am very high on this team. The over-under, I believe, is at 5.5, and I have the over. I think this team, because of the running game, because of the offensive line, because of how this team will be able to play, I believe it will have the opportunity to upset a lot of teams that just don't know how Cam Ward is going to play. You have a lot of hot and cold teams that they play. They play Arizona. They play San Francisco. They play Kansas City at home, which, let's be honest, Kansas City during the regular season is beatable, especially if you have a running game where you can take the clock down and you've got a defense that can shut the receivers down depending on how everything plays out for them. Tennessee, I know what I'm doing with them. 5.5, I'm taking the over, either 6 or 7 wins. For me, success is 7 wins. A failure would be another 3 or 4 win campaign. That would be a failure. However, not a horrible failure. If Cam Ward looks good and your running game just doesn't get going or your receivers drop a lot of passes, whole different ball game. Whole different ball game. But the way that this plays out for the Titans this year, I believe will really just kind of run on how the defense can play. Defensive line, Devondre Sweat, Jeffrey Simmons, Sebastian Joseph Day. Those 3 are big guys. They should have a really good run defense. It's just going to be, can they stop the pass? Can they rush the passer? The linebackers, the reason they're the weak, they don't have a lot of sacks. Arden Key had 6.5 sacks. Harold Landry isn't there anymore. So for me, the offensive line is so good. The linebackers need a lot more production. And you've got this rookie quarterback that's going to be treading waters for a little while. I don't think it's going to be horrible. But I do believe after their bye week is week 10. They come back from their bye week, they have 3 straight home games. The Texans, the Seahawks, the Jaguars. Coming off of a bye week, they could upset Houston. They could easily upset Seattle. And they can absolutely knock off Jacksonville. Then they get the Browns and the 49ers on the road back to back. This team, the second half of the year, be ready for them to come out knowing what they need to do with Cam Ward, knowing what their identity is now in, and they're going to come out and they're going to be strong and they're going to be able to play hard if their defense holds together. They can get W's. Success, 7 wins. Failure, 3 wins. There we go. Simple numbers. Simple numbers. All right. We went through the NFL news earlier. That is going to be it for this one. So you guys will see this on Wednesday. Middle of the week. Thursday coming in. Have a fantastic day. Make it the best Thursday you can. Only 2 more days left of the week to go. And tomorrow night, is football. Hall of Fame game. I always tune in just because I want to watch football. I just want to see it. I don't care if it's slightly fake. I don't care if it looks like an all-star game because nobody's out really hitting that hard. I don't care. I want football. And we get it back tomorrow night. All right, guys. That is it for this episode. Thank you so much for hanging out. As always, make sure to like, subscribe, and do all the things. Thank you guys so much. For Sports Talk with Hawk, I am Hawk on this wonderful Wednesday evening. Have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. I'm out.